Hello everybody, this is Alessandro and welcome to my channel. In this new tutorial I'm gonna show you how do I pose usually character for a dynamic pose like this one. Pose for me is definitely one of the most important things in animation. I always feel like that if we don't do a good job as animator to make a good pose, to sell our own idea, the acting choice, the idea that we wanna sell to the audience, everything else actually almost doesn't matter, doesn't matter your secondary acting, doesn't matter your arc, doesn't matter how much you're polishing your own animation, if the pose that you're selling are not really good and strong. So today I'm gonna show you my approach, how I'm gonna make this pose really dynamic and strong. Before I post the 3D character, guys, I just wanna talk to you about it, like how did I did this sketch and what was going through my head, and what did I wanted to achieve and exactly why I did some choice, so you guys can better understand my thinking process. So first of all, when I approach like a sequence like this, it's not just about like having this character kicking the other one and this one is parry. So if you can see this line of action here, everything is converging to that point, okay? And this is already a strong selling point because we are going from this largest area here shrinking to this one, and that was really making the pose really dynamic, okay? And another thing, if you can see, I lowered the hip towards this direction, but the shoulder, actually, I'm going to the opposite, okay? Always having like a strong twist between your torso and your hip, especially when you're having like a strong gesture like a kick or something like this, is gonna make your pose more solid and also balance as well. Now, if we took a look, for example, this other character, of course, we have a nice line of action going from the spine to the leg, as usual. But I wanted to break this line here, you see? Almost those lines converging always to this point. And of course the leg as well, okay? So as you can see how everything is focused here on the foot. So all those elements are not done by accident, and that's why I think this pose will look eventually so appealing. A few other things I want to mention about is like how the shoulder here is kind of overlapping the face of this character, okay? Usually when I have the shoulder like going higher and framing part of the face and hiding it, it's always giving me like a sense of tension. And also here, same, I wanted actually to bend the fist, and breaking the line of action of the arms. I'm gonna start to pose the female character first. And one thing I wanna mention, guys, in order to pose a character really fast, I go by hierarchy, okay? And what does it mean exactly? It means that I focus on every single section. For example, the first thing I'm gonna do is like pose the root in the right spot, okay, the hip here. Then I'm gonna focus on the line of action on the leg and the foot, okay, for both of them. I'm gonna focus only on that one. I won't care at the moment of the spine, the face, the arms, everything else. I will try to pose the hip and the legs as best as I can to match the drawings, okay? And until the moment I won't think about the rest of the pose. Once I'm happy with that result, I'm gonna focus on the spine and the head, no face yet. Once the spine and the head is done, I will focus to both arms. And again, once I'm doing those things, I don't care about, go back and readjust the leg, go back and readjust the hip, Again, I'm gonna have a solid pass on the overall pose. And then once I'm happy, then yes, I can go back and tweak it a little bit and start maybe to do the face and so on. Okay, let's start to pose the character now. As I mentioned before, guys, we're gonna start the root. One of the things you might notice, guys, that here the spine is not that long. So in order to achieve that without compressing the spine or shading or anything like that, you can actually rotate it forward like this, okay, and find the right angle. As I mentioned before, having the hip towards this direction, towards the leg. Okay, the difficult part is to get the right spine. one of the things that is really important, I have to get it right, is the shoulder. You see even here how the shoulder kinda overlapping the face. So I don't care if I need to translate or whatever needs to be done in order to achieve that. And as I mentioned before, after the spine, I wanna animate the head as well. Sometimes I need to rework. Okay, the shoulder. What I'm looking for is like, I want to have like a nice line like this, and I have to find the best way to achieve it. I don't mind sometimes in animation to hide the neck. And then make sure I can see a little bit of this. Okay. And you guys asked me in the previous video, like, how do I do when I scale things? And regardless if I'm scaling just for a specific pose or I'm using blend shape, and usually I can use only this technique when I'm snapping from one pose to another. There is a big change in the pose, and it's happening in a very few frames, like 3-4 frames. In that case, you can cheat even with scaling or blend shape. But if this change, this cheating, it's happening in 20 frames and it's too slow, it's too visible, definitely you cannot do it. As you can see, guys, as a first pass on this pose, I think it's good enough. Now, once I achieve that, when I'm kind of happy with the line of action and stuff like that, I can start and refine the pose. For example, this one I wanna point it down even more. I wanna have higher. Okay. Now I wanna see less of the lower leg here. Maybe here I wanna show a little bit of the foot in 3/4, less 2D. Maybe some of them you can spread them a little bit this direction as well. It looks better in silhouette, it reads better. This one looks kind of easy as a end pose, nothing too complicated. Just maybe wanna group them, not the finger here. I tend to group this 3 finger and leave a gap for this other one. To adjust the depth of the mouth. Now, I try to do the best as I can with the face expression. Of course, maybe if it's needed, I will add a blend shape later. Okay. I don't want to have the eyes that big, so I kind of more evil expression. It's gonna fit, you know, the mode for the kick. And as well, I want to adjust the hair, you know. Okay, there is a couple of control allows me to move all the hair together. Okay, kind of easily. Let's move to the other character now. As usual, we start with the hip right here. And it's important to get immediately the line of action. And here, same things with the shoulder that we have in the previous character. This time you're trying a different approach. Okay, as you can see, I'm scaling the hands a little bit. Okay, I like to have this angle here on the... And you know guys, I usually scale a little bit the neck. I don't like to have like a neck way too big and long. I'm trying to have this line of action, you see, from the spine to the up to the leg. Okay, and now of course we have to start to see him in camera view. Maybe we can actually bend a little bit more like this. You see, when I'm posing the hand, even like a fist or something, always, I don't want to never have like this kind of flat image because you don't see the knuckles and anything. I always like try to have kind of 3/4 so you can read better the line of action and the silhouette of the fist. It's almost like she's pushing him back. Okay. As you notice, I combined both characters together. I still missing the face of Jules, but before I'm gonna do that, actually I wanna scale the leg to make them a little bit more bulky. Okay, maybe not too much here, or else you can start to see the leg, the geometry breaking. And here as well. And nothing too drastic, just give him a little bit more of thickness. As you can see, guys, Jules is almost matching perfectly the silhouette that I draw. She's actually tinier. I mean, like the proportion of the other girl is way too big in the drawing, but we just have to get the pose. I use this trick to make the mouth a little bit sharper. Okay, from pulling those controllers close to each other. I think so far that's the best we can achieve with the rig, and as usual I'm gonna do a little correction with the blend shape just to make it look a little bit nicer. Okay guys, so now that we're just a few tweaks and stuff like that, I'm gonna show you how do I do the cartoon render here in Maya. So we can start by selecting the geometry of the character, go in the attribute editor, find the material here, and here you can search for the ramp shader, okay? We're gonna select a similar color, doesn't have to be exactly that one, but just do, okay, something like this. So we're gonna set this on brightness, and then we're gonna go over here and reduce this to value to 0. You're gonna click here and choose another gradient. Okay, a little bit darker. I can make this a little bit lighter. Now, of course, when you do this, you guys wanna make sure you have lighting. So create a light in the scene. Okay. As you can see, actually we switched the color. Okay, and now you can adjust the shadow on the way you want it, okay? And you can do basically the same for every single part of the body. Okay, so I complete the rest of the image, you know, add color and everything. I change a little bit the camera position to make it a little bit more dramatic, but for this tutorial is done, guys. So I hope you could learn something from it. And you know, now you can use all those little techniques to improve your posing, especially if you're doing like a fighting sequence or something, you know. Even though you want to do a realistic animation, you can still use some of this technique to improve the line of action, to direct the audience exactly in the point where you want. So I hope all this was helpful, guys. Have a great week, guys, and see you next time.